With new seasons of The Mandalorian on the horizon, it's only fitting to go back and revisit what we've already seen. I'm Dr. Corey Helton, founder of Utini, and in this video, we're going to revisit everything that happened in Season 2 of The Mandalorian and all the Mando content in the Book of Boba Fett. Now, if you haven't already seen it, go back and watch our other video where we cover Season 1 of the show, because in this video, we're going to dive right in to Season 2. Let's do it. Season 2 kicks off with Chapter 9, The Marshal. I love that it continues the chapters from the previous season. In this first entry of Season 2, we meet Din Djarin, who's seeking information about other Mandalorians. That's when he meets Cobb Vanth, Marshal of Mos Pelgo on Tatooine. They team up with a group of Tusken Raiders and work together to defeat a crate dragon. That's when Vanth gives Mando the Mandalorian armor that he was wearing, which we all recognize as the armor of Boba Fett. In Chapter 10, The Passenger, Mando is hired to transport Frog Lady. That is, in fact, her name. He transports Frog Lady and her eggs to another planet, but they crash land on an icy planet and are pursued by New Republic X-Wings. They do escape, however, with the help of those same New Republic officers and continue onwards with their journey. In Chapter 11, The Heiress, Mando and Frog Lady make it to the planet Trask. That's where Mando meets a group of other Mandalorians who ask for his help in hijacking an Imperial cruiser. They succeed, and Bo-Katan, who is revealed to be one of those Mandalorians, a famous character from the Clone Wars TV show, she works with and instructs Mando to bring the child to Corvus and search for Ahsoka Tano. In Chapter 12, The Siege, Mando works with Greef Karga and Cara Dune and helps free Navarro of Imperial rule. That's when he discovers a really disturbing laboratory, which seems to be tied back to the child. In Chapter 13, The Jedi, Mando and the child finally meet Ahsoka Tano and learn that the child's name is in fact Grogu and not Baby Yoda. They team up to free the city of Caladan, and Toka suggests that they go to Tython to call a Jedi to Grogu. Of course, we all know that Tython is a famous origin planet of the Jedi. This got fans really excited. In Chapter 14, The Tragedy, Mando places Grogu on the Seeing Stone on Tython, but they're attacked by the Empire in the process. Boba Fett shows up to help save the day, but unfortunately, Grogu is taken captive by the Empire. In Chapter 15, The Believer, Mando rescues prisoner Makes Mayfield to help steal information to find Gideon's location. They work together to infiltrate an Imperial mining hub and they blow it to smithereens. In the process, Mando takes off his helmet for the first time, breaking his vow we have not seen him break since the origin of the show. In Chapter 16, The Rescue, the finale of Season 2 of the show, Mando and the team successfully infiltrate Moff Gideon's ship and defeat him. Luke Skywalker shows up at the last minute, rescues everybody, and then takes baby Grogu back with him. But not before Mando and Grogu share a very heartfelt goodbye. Okay, now that we have covered everything that happens in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, let's talk about all the Mando stuff in Book of Boba Fett. Even though it is a separate show, a lot of Mando stuff did happen there, and I think we should cover it here in a little more detail just in case you didn't watch that show. Okay, starting off with Chapter 5 of the Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian returns. Din Djarin is back to his bounty hunting ways and reunites with the Mandalorian cohorts. He learns about the significance of the Darksaber that he earned at the end of Season 2, and he learns about the danger and the history of the Beskar spear given to him by Ahsoka. The armor melts down that Beskar spear and forges it into a sheath of armor, a shirt for Grogu. The armorer then trains Djarin in the art of fighting with the Darksaber, which he does struggle with initially. Paz Vizsla, the other Mandalorian that we see there, he challenges Djarin for the saber but fails. The armorer asks both men if they've ever removed their helmets in front of others, and Djarin admits that he has. That leads to the armorer informing him that he is no longer a Mandalorian in this case. Dejected, Djarin takes a commercial flight to Tatooine, and that's where he reunites with Pelimoto, who helps him build and modify a new N1 Naboo starfighter. At the end of the episode, Fennec Shand approaches him and offers him a job as Boba Fett's muscle, which Djarin accepts without pay as a way to thank her and Fett for their past help that we saw in Season 2. And that's how we get Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett. In Chapter 6, A Stranger in the Desert, Din Djarin flies to the planet Ossus, where he meets R2-D2 and witnesses androids building something resembling buildings on the planet. He asks to see Grogu, but is asked to wait on a bench for a long time. Grogu meditates with Luke Skywalker and learns to hone in his Force abilities, and that's where we learn that this is the Grogu episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Din helps Grogu access his memories of home, triggering a flashback of Order 66 at the Jedi Temple. Ahsoka Tano then joins Din and they discuss Grogu's future together. Tano informs Din that he cannot visit Grogu as per Luke's instructions, but does promise to protect him. Skywalker and Tano watch as Grogu dodges a training remote and discuss his future together, after which Tano gives Skywalker the Beskar armor and they part ways. In Chapter 7, In the Name of Honor, Din Djarin fights alongside Boba Fett to take back Mos Espa from the Pike Syndicate and succeeds. Some time passes and we see Djarin flying his N1 with Grogu in the bubble seat behind the cockpit, which confirms Grogu's choice back on Ossus that he does want to be with Mandalorian. So, as we roll into Season 3 of The Mandalorian, we now know Grogu is back with Mando and will continue their adventures together. I hope you've enjoyed this recap of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. We'll see you guys next time for our next review of Season 3 when that finally premieres. Thanks for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.